Hello and welcome to the One Take Show. This is Kaustubh Srivastava, your host, and today we bring to you a rather exciting conversation with a very dear friend of mine. His name is Utkarsh Bajpai. Utkarsh is a PGP candidate with IIM Ahmedabad. He also secured 99.87 percentile in Common Aptitude Test, which gives me an opportunity to talk about obviously his journey, his strategies for the preparation for the test, how he attempted the test, interviews, GD, everything. If you're interested in cat, then this episode is a must for you. If you like this episode, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions and feedbacks, make sure you reach out to me. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's jump right into the conversation. Hello, Utkarsh. Welcome to the One Take Show. I am so excited to have you on this podcast for multiple reasons. Firstly, that I've known you for a very long time. I've met you in Kirodimal College, and I've had this pleasure of watching you work earlier with TRT in the Kirodimal College. I've seen you as a senior. Then eventually, I've seen you clear one of the toughest examinations in India, that is Common Aptitude Test. And I've seen you scale through one of the best universities in India. You've established like real milestones for anyone who's been trying to somehow make the best of themselves, and at the same time being extremely humble, extremely humorous as you are. So before we delve into your entire strategy about CAT and everything, and we talk about how you strategize everything, how was the experience in every step regarding preparation or attempt of the examination. How about we talk about your experience at Kirodimal? Like, how was the journey at Kirodimal and your journey with this entire process of then deciding to take CAT? How was that all like?
See, so unlike a lot of people I know, my career trajectory has been very haphazard. I've just gone with the flow. After 12th, I was like, what to do. Didn't have any concrete preferences, so took a very kind of a safe bet. Barbie mein I got a decent score, so came to DU, came to Kirodimal College. It was nice. Kirodimal College was a lot of fun. Did some extracurriculars there. Didn't study as much as I should have. Genuinely पढ़ लेना चाहिए था, but नहीं पढ़ा sadly. But it was fun. Delhi, like if I'm from Bhopal, so that journey from Bhopal to Delhi was very good. Like it helps open your mind a lot. So I think I enjoyed that a lot. Made some really good friends. How did I end up doing MBA? Like, so ये भी हाफिज़ाड़ी था. I mean, I was like, I think at one point, I think when I was in my second year, at one point I realized that everybody is thinking about what after college, and I was just chilling in life. I had no idea what to do, and so I just thought, what do I do? What do I do? Thought about it for a month. I was like, fine, let's do MBA. I think MBA is fine enough. Went to some random coaching. Ki, bhai, what is MBA like? What's your course like? And I just went to two. Like there are some 20, 50, I don't know how many coaching institutes in Delhi. But I was like, I went to one, then I went to the other one, and I was like, this is enough, I'll choose. So yeah, I was pretty random. I didn't have any like set mindset from the beginning. Obviously, along the way, I have decided that if I'm doing an MBA, what kind of MBA do I want to do? What am I interested in? So I have developed an interest gradually, but yeah, it just happened along the way.
Well, that is a very interesting story. I mean, obviously, you say that it was pretty open-ended from your side. I mean, you talk about how you explored your opportunities at various coachings and stuff, and how it was not really very much determined. But you also achieved a score which is huge. Like you talk about 99.87 percentile is something that not a lot of people get, but everyone aims for. And obviously, we talk about a score that sets a precedence. So let's talk about your strategies. Like, how did you strategize your preparation for CAT, and how long before did you start preparing for it? And how long did you take to prepare for CAT? A little bit about your strategy.
So I have two attempts for CAT. The first one was in my final year of college. This was 95.6 percentile, and then I decided I'll take a drop. And in my second attempt, I got 99.87, which got me into my current institute. So I started like my insights will be I'll combine both of these insights. And so for my first attempt, I started about 10 to 11 months before the CAT, and I think that's usually the time that most people take. I mean, there are obviously outliers which just take a month or two, and I have a lot of such people in my batch. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the mediocre people who have to actually, like, I'm not talking about the geniuses. I'm talking about the normal people. So I think around 10 months. And for the strategy, so I think there's a specific strategy that you need for CAT for every section. So you need a section-wise strategy. But overall, if I was to like give you some tips, it would be like just jump into it first of all, like start kar do. And so if for those who do not know, CAT has 100 questions, and they are divided into three sections. It's called verbal, that is English. Second is LRDI, which is logical reasoning, and the final one is quant, which is your maths and aptitude and all that. Uh, and they're evenly split. The 100 questions are 34, 32, and 34, spread across these three questions respectively. And there are positive 3 marks for every right answer and negative marking for every wrong answer. And so yeah, that's basically what the paper looks like. And so I'll what I'll do is if we'll go into detail for each of the individual sections, and I think that might help people. So should I do that? Should I start with the first section,
Yeah,
or
sure.
you can?
Because section-wise strategy is very important for this entire process. I think a lot of my listeners because obviously law students have now started shifting towards MBA in a way that it has started
Yeah.
helping them in career switch or career amalgamation in a way or the other. So I think yes,
Yeah,
if you can talk about section-wise strategy of yours, it will really help.
yeah, right. You're right there. Like diversity is a very big is a big thing at B schools at this point. Like in my batch, I have about I have CAs, I have lawyers, I have doctors as well. I even have a scientist. So there's a lot of diversity there, and it's good. It's really helpful. We hear about it a lot, but it's genuinely helpful. So what would be the CAT strategy? I think first of all, if for the people who are still in college, I would suggest that it's very important that you have a good ACAD score. Your college marks should be very high. That really helps when you're sitting for interviews. Then coming out to the sectional strategy. First, I'll talk about VA, which is verbal ability. So here you have basically you have reading comprehensions, you have some other you know verbal ability questions. Um, I think this is the kind of question, the section where your comfort with English is like it's tested here. Some people which are already comfortable with English, they find it relatively easier. But that's not to say that you cannot develop that interest and that comfort. So I am assuming here that the people listening to this podcast have a basic understanding of what CAT looks like. So I will not go into very detail of what the actual format is like. Instead, I'll just give you tips and tricks of what to do in that section. So for VA, if you have passages, right? And I think for passages, the strategy that works for me at least is that just read that passage in one go, and try to be very thorough with it. So what your objective should be that you read that passage, you go to the question, and you shouldn't have to keep going back to the passage, going back to the question. That really wastes time. So try to develop that habit while you're practicing to be very thorough in your reading. So that is definitely one. For the marking the right answer, so there are 4 options that you have. And I think one trick that helps again here is that try to look for extremes. What often the question paper setters do is that they put extreme options as options. So for example, if I say that Kaustubh, if the passage says that Kaustubh is a nice guy, and the passage says it, I am not saying it, and and supposing the option says that Kaustubh is the nicest guy. So you have to look out for these extremes. The nicest was never mentioned in the passage, so you can very comfortably eliminate. So if you're looking for words like always, every time, no, none, only, etc., these are extreme words, and these options more often than not are incorrect. You can mark them out. And the second kind of option that you get are the exact opposite. So जो right answer है उसका एकदम opposite option होता है, तो उसको भी आप eliminate कर सकते हो. So instead of trying to go for the right answer, the approach should be कि what is the wrong answer. I need to eliminate two options first कि यार ये तो नहीं है, ये तो नहीं है, and then at the end you're left with two options, and that makes your life much easier. It increasing your chances from 25% to 50% of getting it right, which is huge. If you do that expected probability, that will be positive now. Never mind. So that's good. So for English, process of elimination use करना चाहिए, and I mentioned the hacks there, and yeah, I mean English के लिए more or less है. Practice helps. People say that read that book. What's that book? Word Power Made Easy पढ़ लो, newspaper पढ़ लो, novels पढ़ लो. I don't know, man, if that helps. Word Power Made Easy, and like I mean, you should do these things without cat also. And I think it's very self-righteous to say, but you should be doing these books, like doing Word Power Made Easy, reading newspapers, not to do well in cat, but to do well in life in general. It's good to have a good vocabulary. It's good to know current affairs. So as self-righteous as it sounds, I think that's the better approach to have. Self-improvement को objective रखो, ना कि cat में अच्छा करना है. So उस हिसाब से I'm sure if you want to read a newspaper, go ahead. It's going to help you in the long run. That's the first section, VA. For LRDI is the worst section. I mean, it's the most unpredictable section, in my opinion, because I mean, at least when I was taking CAT, वो बहुत difficult आता था, and you could not get it right. So LRDI was like a very unpredictable section for us. For LRDI, I think something that's very important is consistency. I would suggest that people who are very serious and who are weak in this section, they try to create a target कि मुझे daily इतने sets करने हैं. Sets are basically a set of 4 questions जो एक ही storyline पे based होते हैं. So try to do maybe 3 or 4 sets every day without fail, and maybe do this for like 5 days a week, 6 days a week. And because for LRDI, there's no limitation कि syllabus क्या है. For quant, कि यार इतने ही topics आ सकते हैं. For LRDI, they're just testing your ability to reason, ability to find logic in things. So उसके लिए कोई limit नहीं है. So it's better you start developing that skill as early as possible. If you're going for coachings and all, a big error that I made in my first attempt was कि मैं वेट कर रहा था कि यार LRDI का कोर्स कंप्लीट हो जाएगा तब मैं स्टार्ट करूंगा. कोर्स कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ, मैं क्या करूंगा. बट अगेन लाइक आई सेड, कोर्स है ही नहीं, तो कोचिंग वालों को करने दो, डू दैट पैरेलली, बट स्टार्ट ऑन योर ओन अकॉर्ड एज वेल. यू हैव practice questions available on the internet, ample of questions available. Try to use these mock papers from the past. They're very helpful. So for LRDI, I would suggest consistency. Do certain number of sets every day. For the strategy in the exam itself, I would suggest you have 1 hour for every section. For LRDI, you have 8 sets in your CAT, and the thing that you really need to understand is you don't need to do 8 sets. You only need to do 4 to 5 sets depending on the difficulty. Sometimes even 3 sets are good enough. So for the first 5 to 10 minutes, what I would do is that I would go through all the questions, all sets of questions, and that is a very good investment that you're making, because now you have a hierarchy. So मैंने 8 sets देख लिए. Then basis my comfort zone, I would categorize them into three sets. First is something that I'm like यार ये हो जाना चाहिए, ये काफी easy लग रहा है. Second one is कि यार this seems comfortable, I'm sort of comfortable with it, let's give it a shot. And the third one is something that's completely alien, जिसपे मुझे माथा नहीं छोड़ना, तो उसको तो हटा ही दो. So effectively you have to narrow down कि मुझे 8 sets में नहीं खेलना, मुझे 5 या 6 sets में ही खेलना है. So use those 10 minutes very well. And apart from that, there are a few other some more nuanced tricks which I'll just cover them very quickly. First of all is every set has an easy question. So supposing even the hardest of sets has one question जिसमें तुम्हें पूरा सेट सॉल्व करने की जरूरत नहीं है, तुम्हें बस ऊपर से बहुत ही सुपरफिशियली भी उसको देखो तो शायद उसका आंसर आ जाए. तो तुम्हें ऐसे नंबर बटोरने वाली अप्रोच रखनी होती है. तुम्हें पूरा सेट सॉल्व करने का नंबर नहीं मिल रहा है, तुम्हें तुम्हारे मेथड के नंबर नहीं मिल रहे हैं, जो हमारा स्कूल का माइंडसेट बैठा हुआ है कि यार मैं मेथड क्वेश्चन आया, मैं पेन उठाया और घिसना चालू करा. वो नहीं होता है. इट्स जस्ट लाइक दे जस्ट नीड द राइट आंसर. दे डू नॉट केयर अबाउट तुमने कितना टाइम इन्वेस्ट किया, तुमने गलती से गेस किया या नहीं किया. यू जस्ट नीड दैट राइट आंसर. सो ट्राई टू हैव दैट जुगाड़ माइंडसेट. So yeah, so if there's an easy question in any set, try to find out that question. This will come with practice. And again, practice karo. LRDI is just practice. And again, one thing is with LRDI is लोग अपना ego पे ले लेते हैं. जैसे मैंने क्या हुआ, मेरे पास एक सेट आया, मैंने start करा, 1 minute हो गया, 2 minute हो गए, 5 minute हो गए. I've sort of made progress, but I haven't been able to crack it. So I'm like, yeah, I've already invested 5-10 minutes in this set. I cannot leave it. Almost हो गया. And I ended up wasting 15 minutes, 20 minutes on that set. And शायद वो हो, शायद नहीं हो. Even if it is done, it's not good because the time that I wasted, that I could have used in a better way for other questions. So a thing that I used to use was that you don't have to marry any set. You just have to flirt with the sets, and if they seem stubborn or if they seem hard to deal with, you just break up with them. So try to have that mentality. Yeah, nahi ho raha, chodo, nahi ho raha, chodo. For LRDI, I think that works. Third section is quant. Quant for non-engineers, me myself being a non-engineer, it's like काफी डर लगता है quant से लोगों को, and fine लगना भी चाहिए. So quant में I think again, so I will go for an exam strategy perspective. I'll first I'll tell you how to prepare. Second, I'll tell you how to take the exam itself. For quant, if you're trying to develop your skills, I would suggest practice. Just pick up any good book. अगर आपके पास 8-9 महीने हैं तो आपके पास बहुत टाइम है. आप कोई सी भी बुक उठाओ. There are so many good books. अरुण शर्मा है, एक सर्वेश वर्मा करके there's a book. Pick them up. They're very good, and just start solving. There are about 20 major topics that quant covers. I think you can cover them. But again, everybody has a different level of comfort with quant. So first, analyze कि आपका level of comfort क्या है. I know people जिनने महीना भर भी नहीं, मतलब 2-3 attempts दिए, like 2-3 हफ्ते अच्छे से पढ़ाई करी, and they were able to nail it because their level of comfort with quant was next level. मेरा level of comfort with quant was shit. Am I allowed to say shit? Okay, I am allowed to. So
Trust
first
me,
figure out.
so this one of the very interesting factor about your entire story is how much life gyan I'm receiving right now. We're starting with like how cat is synonymous to your life daily cycle, how you should do it, and then suddenly we're talking about breakup and stuff like that. Let's jump to this. But yeah, please,
Yeah. So so if you don't, this is like, since I was not very good with quant, I mean that this is my approach that I took. I think for non-engineers, for law people, if they don't feel comfortable, I think it might work for them as well. So prep करो, books, कोई सी भी books उठा लो, and then धीरे धीरे लोग, instead of going for shortcuts right from the get go, पहले उसमें धीरे धीरे expertise बढ़ाओ, अपना level of comfort बढ़ाओ, and अपने दिमाग में उसके सारे फंडे बिठा लो, and then उसके बाद shortcuts वगैरह पे जाओ, because shortcut यूज करने के लिए भी दिमाग लगता है, तो अंधों में shortcut मत यूज करो. तो पहले level of comfort बढ़ाओ, and then this is mainly for that, for the prep bit. For the exam taking bit, again similar to LRDI, you have to basically create a pecking order कि मुझे क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना है. So what I would do is I would create, if I look at any question in quant, I need to instantly think कि again I would categorize it into A, B, C. Is this a round A question, round B question, or round C question? Round A stands for आता है, round B stands for बाद में करूँगा, round C stands for छोड़ दूँगा. So because what happens is that I have 1 hour, I have 34 questions. I am not expected to do 34 questions right. I am expected to do the 20 easiest questions first. मुझे, and like leaving a tough question is also a skill. Like Rahul Dravid ना अच्छी बॉल छोड़ देता है वो. You have to give it respect. You have to leave that question, and that's the sign of a good batsman and a good test taker. So if you find a very difficult question, leave it, and you have to get into that habit. So once you start, your time has started, for your 1 hour has started. Look at the first question and think, yaar, do I know this question? Do I know how to solve this question? The answer is yes. And then you'll think, yaar, कितना time लगेगा? मैं 1-2 मिनट में इसको कर पाऊंगा या नहीं कर पाऊंगा? And again, if the answer is yes, then you attempt that question. if you think यार मुझसे हो जाएगा ये question but it might take a certain amount of time, yeah, I am sort of, I think हो जाएगा, I'm not 100% sure, I can give it a try, then again this is a second round question, round B question, so you have to mark this question and decide that I'll come back to this question later on, and then maybe the question is completely new, you have never seen something like this in your practice. So while that 1 hour is going on, तब तुम्हें knowledge building नहीं करनी है, तब तुम्हें नया सीखने का कोई जरूरत नहीं है, जो आता है उतना ही आता है, so उसको छोड़ दो, and then you move on to the next question. So ideally what I would do was that out of the 1 hour, in the first 30 minutes, I would do all the round A questions. I would go through the entire 34 questions, and I would do about 10 to 15 questions out of the 34, which were easiest, the easiest ones. And then out of the after 30 minutes, I have about 10 questions marked, जिनको मैंने flag लगा दिया है कि ये मेरे को round B में करने हैं. So then again I would go back to the first question and then do the round B question. And I think this is the best way to do quant, and I don't think there's any other way to do it. And you have to develop this skill. Wow, lot of gyan. I've given like, this is what you like, the approach that I took. Like, it's a bit detailed. For those who are listening, अब तो मैंने मेरे को disclaimer पहले देना चाहिए था. But sorry guys, sorry for the gyan. But yeah, this is basically like the as detailed as I can give you for the 3 sections. Yes, Kaustubh, over to you.
Right. All right. No, I believe me, if you only had a coaching center of your own, we would be just distributing flyers by now. Like, this is the orientation session done, and just join in. But
Yeah.
I believe this is the kind of extensive information you only get from someone who's not just done it once, twice, but has scaled it using the strategy, which has actually worked out. So a lot of times we receive the kind of tips and tricks, but it is not quite very tested out theories, because while preparing for CLAT as well, we've not had the kind of difficulty that CAT has, obviously, but CLAT also has a similar pattern, diluted type version of the pattern. So we also used to go through a similar sort of a strategy. Like English, we used to, with the paragraphs, we used to go through we used to go through questions first and then come back to paragraph, read it once, and then go back to the questions and start answering them. With the quant, we used to do similar things. So I think anyone who is planning to do or prepare for CAT will benefit a lot from that segment. Listening about each and every section was very important for that. You mentioned your coaching once, and I think a lot of people have this question as in how important a role does coaching play? I mean, obviously, we understand that mock tests are something which is indispensable, and I would love to know what role did mock tests play in your journey, but specifically, what role did coaching play in your journey? How indispensable is coaching?
So I think again, this depends on person to person. What are you a person who thinks they'll do well in a coaching institute? So disclaimer, like coaching is not mandatory to do well in CAT, but it's nice to have. It's nice to have. And I think overall, talking about coaching institutes in general, I mean, I always think of them as momo shops. They're more or less the same. एक ही type का चीज बेच रहे हैं for a similar fee.
Right.
Because like it's fine. It's a kind of an oligopolistic market. No. What perfect competition वाला market है. So more or less similar लोग होते हैं उसमें.
Yeah.
So the exact coaching institute I won't get into कि कौन सा अच्छा है बुरा है. जहाँ पे तुम्हारा मन लग रहा है वहाँ पे पढ़ लेना. But overall, I think 20% of my overall output I would suggest was due to my coaching institute, because it helps you develop that routine. You have people around you to share your sorrows with, and it also helps you kind of get an idea कि यार competition कितना है. मतलब तुम शायद अकेले, at least for me, अगर मैं अकेले अपने रूम में पढ़ूंगा तो I will not ever have that seriousness. If I'm going to an institute, if I'm seeing 100 people coming to a coaching every day, I'll sort of have this idea कि यार people are serious about this. So it helps me in that peer learning aspect, keh lo, ya being competitive and being driven aspect. So it helps me in that respect. And they have a good structure. I mean, if you don't have any familiarity with CAT, if you were to do it on your own, you would take a certain amount of time getting comfortable कि मुझे अपना approach क्या रखना है. And if you go to a coaching institute, they have it figured out. So that kind of saves you time there. So if money is not an issue for you, if time ka paucity is not an issue for you, most welcome to go to a coaching institute. But for engineers or people who have taken competitive exams in the past, I'm sure lawyers have done it. So if you're feeling कि मैंने किया हुआ है, I know the kind of mindset you need to have for cracking a competitive exam, then very well, you don't have to take coaching. So it's kind of a personal call there. And then you mentioned mocks. Mocks are very important. Mocks are like the golden word for CAT, because CAT is not an ability, is not testing your knowledge. It's not testing कि तुम्हें कितना आता है. It's not a test of knowledge, but it's a test of time. So if I was to be given those same questions, कि इसको तुम 10 घंटे में solve कर दो, so I'll be able to do it. I'll be probably be able to get most of them right, because the questions themselves are not difficult. The questions are easy, but being able to finish them off in that stipulated amount of time, that's the skill. And you only develop that skill with taking mocks. So I always used to say that 50% of your prep is building your knowledge, अपना ज्ञान बढ़ाओ, and 50% is learning how to implement it in a mock. So take about, I would say 30 mocks is at par. Once you reach those 3-4 month mark before CAT, take one mock every day, and then analyze that mock thoroughly. Analyze it for 3 hours, 4 hours. Spend a lot of time on analysis, because just taking mocks is not going to help you, because then you're always at par, you're not going up. So you have to take a mock, analyze it, get better. Take a mock, analyze it, get better, and keep doing that cycle. So initially start with one mock every week. Sundays work for most people, and as like with 1 month to go for CAT, maybe take two mocks every week, because then तुम्हारा knowledge, तुम्हारा ज्ञान बटोरने वाला part हो जाएगा, implementation पे ज़्यादा focus हो जाएगा. So yeah, take about 30 mocks. Again, this depends. People take 50 also, some people take 5 also. But 30 is a safe bet. If you're very serious about doing well, then don't leave any stone unturned.
Right. So that's a very interesting, because obviously mocks play a very important role when it comes to preparing for the exam type experience, and how to exactly, as you mentioned, analyzing the mock itself is a very important task.
Right.
This brings me to a second set of questions, which is a very specific to IIM, which is GDN interview, obviously, and how did you prepare for that? Like, were there any specific strategies that you were equipped with or some sort of like predisposed? Okay, I'm going to get in the room with this mindset or this preparation, or how did you practice it again and again, something of that sort?
All right. For interviews, I think there are, if you were to think of like bucketing what kind of prep you need to do. First is your HR questions. HR questions are related to you. Something like strengths, weaknesses, tell me about yourself. Is type of question.
Mm-hmm.
One is your current affairs, general awareness.
Mm-hmm.
इसमें they'll ask you about your news, what's happening in the economy, blah blah blah, la la la. And second, that's the second. Third one is they'll ask you related to your CV. तुमने क्या 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 किया है? What were your internships? College में, society में क्या किया? कैसा किया? And the fourth one is your academics. They'll ask you directed questions कि तुमने इसमें ये concept बताओ. So at least from a B school perspective, these are the 4 buckets. It's slightly different when you sit for job interviews. So I think we'll leave that for a different podcast. So again, एक bucket में current affairs वाला bucket is something that ये coaching institute वाले करवा देते हैं. I mean, coaching institute they do help you with this. I would like to go bucket by bucket. So the first bucket, which was HR questions. Tell me about yourself is very important. Because what you need to realize is that it sets the tone for your interview. So the kind of approach that you need to have with tell me about yourself is that you're basically laying out a fishing net. तुम ऐसे जाल फेंक रहे हो अपने इंटरव्यूअर पे, and you're hoping कि यार वो एक जाल में फंस जाए. Like you're basically sprinkling say 5 conversation topics कि यार मैंने, like for me personally I would say कि मैंने X किया, Y किया, Z किया और ये किया. And I'm hoping कि यार वो इसके बारे में मेरे से फिर से पूछ ले, because I know my shit in this thing. So try to think of 4 things that you want to discuss in your interview. कि तुम मुझे after my 20-minute interview, I want my interviewer to know this. It could be your internship at that high court, or it could be anything that you are very proud of and that separates you. If you are a chess player, or like you are a highly rated chess player, cover that. If you're a photographer, if you are passionate about music, because of which somehow you're relating it to MBA. So try to cover all of those points, and then in your tell me about yourself, or if they ask you what are your strengths, try to again sprinkle those topics. If say I'm saying I'm a chess player, okay, supposing I'm a chess player, and supposing I have done well in a lot of competitions, and I want कि मुझे ये topic लाना है अपने interview में, तो कैसे भी करके मैं कैसे उसको लाऊंगा. If they ask me, tell me about yourself, so I would say कि sir, I am Utkarsh, I have done XYZ in my life. One of my major hobbies has been chess, and I've been able to do well in it comparatively, and I have a lot of laurels, etc., etc., etc. That's one way to address it. If they do not ask me, tell me about yourself. If then they'll ask me, what are your strengths? What sets you apart? तो मैं सेम चीज इसको भी ला सकता हूँ. मैं बोलूंगा कि I think, sir, I have the ability to be very patient, and I am also very strategic in my approach, because I think I get this from my chess days, because I've had chess matches which have went on for as long as 6 hours, and it's like a mental battle. So that has allowed me to be patient. And as a chess player, I am very strategic. I'm always thinking what the next move is. इससे क्या होगा, उससे क्या होगा. So that has done, उससे मुझे ये हो गया. So somehow आपको अपने वो topic shoe on करने हैं. This is very important. And why? Because in my IIM Ahmedabad interview, I was sprinkling these topics. I asked me about this, asked me about this, asked me about the elections in MP, asked me about the insolvency bill, asked me about this. मैंने ऐसे sprinkle करे, and they वो सारे bait उन्होंने ले लिए. So at any given point of time, the interview was going जैसे मैं चाहता था. I was driving the interview. Again, this is a skill that you will pick up gradually, but I'm trying to kind of tell you that mindset that I have and you should have. So this is for tell me about yourself. It's very important. Try to always back up your shit with examples. If I'm saying I am hardworking, they have heard this 5 million times, but you need to give an example. I need to suggest why I'm hardworking, because that story matters. This quality hardworking does not matter. Interviewers को पता है कि सब वो globe terms और gas terms सब use करते हैं. So don't do that. Don't say कि I want to do an MBA because I'm a people's person. That is the worst. Don't. Oh my god, I hate it. Sorry. I mean, a lot of people do it.
Have people said that actually in the interviews?
Arey, I said it, yeah. It's such an like. It's because it's like I want to manage people. I love people. Like I love being around people. I'm a people's person.
Wow. Okay.
And that's like a semi-cooked answer. That's like the first thing that people think of. I'm a team player. I'm a team worker. Something. I am a good leader. Like these are the top 5 reasons that people want to do an MBA. So try to. That's fine. You have those reasons, but try to have a concrete reason as well. That's okay. That's for the HR questions bit. For current awareness, general awareness, current affairs. What am I doing? Lawyers. So I mean, I don't know what lawyers do in their life, but I mean, I'm very far apart from that field, honestly. But I'm assuming उनको थोड़ा better idea होता है कि life में क्या चल रहा है. I think. I don't know. I'm sure उनको like policy making perspective से ज़्यादा idea होगा, but शायद economy में क्या चल रहा है वो शायद ना पता हो.
Yeah, I refrain from commenting on any of these issues.
Again, I think it depends from a person to person. Let's not keep it like let's not generalize. I think that's the motto you should have for life, guys. Do not generalize.
Right, very politically correct. Good. Podcast is going good. Yes.
So try to have an understanding. थोड़ा सब में idea होना चाहिए. At least अपने सारे where you come from उसके बारे में पता होना ही चाहिए. Like मुझसे अपने इंटरव्यू में, IIM के इंटरव्यू में मुझसे भोपाल, I'm from Bhopal. They asked me facts about Bhopal. They'll ask you about your state. They'll ask you basically wherever you're from, whichever college you've done your in like wherever graduation from, उसके बारे में पता होना चाहिए. In one of my interviews, I was asked कि Kirodimal College से हो, so why is it called Kirodimal College? And you need to know this. So yeah, Kaustubh, do you know why it's called Kirodimal College?
I am not from Kirodimal College. I get it. I don't know.
Are you not from Kirodimal College? You are from Kirodimal College.
No, Mama. I was there for a year. I dropped out.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a justifiable question. Like, okay, I get it. I think it was some zamindar or something who was awarded some patronage by the Nawab of Delhi or something. That's my weirdest, vaguest of the guesses. I'm not exactly sure of that.
So it's post-independence, I think. I mean, I don't think we have Nawab and all at 1970.
Oh, is it
1980.
post-independence? Then my answer is all bullcrap. Remove
Yes, I don't think
it. Put out
Nawab's.
there.
Pehle it was called something else.
Mhm.
I'm so sorry, guys. People are not from Kirodimal College, but what I mean to say is you need
Oh,
to know
who
your.
cares? Talk about Kirodimal now. Come on, let's talk about Kirodimal.
So it was. I mean I have forgotten, but what I remember is कि used to be something else. कुछ और नाम होता था, but वो college चल नहीं रहा था तो बंद हो गया. Then Kirodimal used to be this really rich
Yeah.
dude,
Okay.
and what he did was कि I'll donate and आप मेरे नाम से चालू करवा दो college. So that
Wow.
college got revamped, got renamed into Kirodimal College, and then अभी जो उसकी बंजर हालत है is what like कुछ हुआ होगा तो बहुत खराब हालत हो गई. Sorry, yaar, I like to shit on Kirodimal College in my free time.
It's okay. Yeah.
And then what else? Academics तो आप कर ही लोगे. Academics, you know, I mean, they could ask you if you're from a law background, you need to know your stuff there. And there was a third thing that I mentioned which I'm forgetting. CV related questions. Again, try to have very directed answers. Try to have examples. Try to prepare learning. So अपना CV देखो. Think of whatever questions they could ask you. If you've done an internship at a law firm, they could ask you anything like what are your challenges that you faced at that firm, and what have been your 3 major takeaways from that internship. So it should not be the case कि आप वहाँ पे on the spot वो 3 सोच रहे हो. You cannot let it go to that extent. Prepare करके जाओ. 3 नहीं तो एटलीस्ट 1-2 तो सोच के जाओ ताकि थर्ड वाले में शायद वो तुम्हें कुछ और like शायद they interrupt you. So try to have those kind of backstories for everything on your CV. So yeah, overall that is for the interviews. The mindset that I would suggest people have is that don't panic. Try to think that the interviewer is a middle-aged Indian man who is trying to judge you. Like typical Indian man is, and आपको उसको अपना justify करना है कि अंकल मैं life में क्यों कर रहा हूँ. So if your reason like, I mean interviewers are fine. Yeah, let's. If they ask you that, then maybe you're sitting in the wrong interview.
Yeah, but I get that energy. I get your idea. Yeah.
Alright, and then don't be scared if you have a drop, if you haven't done, if you're afraid of something, yeah, they'll ask me about this. Everybody has that insecurity in their profile. I तो am like a highlight of that. वो drop year के बाद जो ऐसा insecurity आता है ना कि यार वो drop लिया है, they will never forgive me, they hate me. ऐसा नहीं है. They're reasonable people. They have been interviewing people for years. So if you're reasonable, if you're logical, if you're able to make sense of why you did what you did, they'll believe it and they will be absolutely okay with it. Yeah, so yeah, that's the approach I would say, Kaustubh, for interviews GDPI.
Right, perfect. I think this was the most extensive, in-depth conversation that we've had about any of those competitive examinations or about any of the fields. In fact, I think this will help a lot of people who are even thinking of someday taking up CAT. I mean, from your side, do you have any opinion or strategies or some tips and tricks as a closing remark for anyone who would take CAT again, or something that you want to give away as a closing remark for them?
I think this one approach I have in life, and like more of a life lesson, is that like human instinct is either when you face a tough situation, when you face an adversity, you either want to fight or flight. That's like the most primitive instinct that caveman had. But at some point of time, like you can always, like taking that flight option doesn't always work. At some point you have to choose the fight option because otherwise you can't get shit done. So I think it's very important that you back yourself. You should not discount yourself before you've done it, because I think a lot of people have this mindset that even before starting for CAT or for doing whatever next step, they're like, यार मेरे से नहीं होगा, मैंने कुछ किया ही नहीं है लाइफ में, मेरे CATs अच्छे नहीं है, कभी मैथ्स पढ़ा नहीं है, कैसे करूंगा, टाइम नहीं है, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है. Excuses का limitation नहीं है. And what these excuses are is that you are convincing your brain to take the flight option. Like you're scared and you're like, you know what, the rational option would be for me to take CAT next year. The rational option would be is bar I will give CAT for this. Like you're afraid. So you try to guise that in the curtain of rationality, but you have to stop yourself from doing that. At some point of time, you need to like, यार अब तो देना ही है देना, अब like आर या पार करना ही पड़ेगा. So you need to back yourself up, and have faith in yourself, because I remember when I joined the coaching institute, I was so underconfident, and I used to see these people, like these engineers who are like very like काफी मुझसे बड़े थे उम्र में, and वो प्रोफेसर से एकदम मेरे से बड़ी बन गए हैं, एंड सो प्रोफेसर से बातें कर रहे हैं, जब भी देखो वो कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट में पढ़े मिलते थे. तो आई वाज लाइक यार इन लोग का होगा, मैं क्या करूंगा लाइफ में, दीज आर द वंस हु विल नेल कैट. But धीरे धीरे I was able to practice one day at a time. Whatever I'm doing, I'll do well. If I'm going for coaching, I'll sit on the first bench. And then gradually, I ended up doing better than them. Not to flex, but at a point they came to me कि यार CAT नहीं होगा, हम लोग कोई दूसरा entrance देते हैं, हम लोग let's give NMAT में ज़्यादा अच्छे chances हैं. And then I was the one telling them कि यार हो जाएगा, आप लोग tension क्यों ले रहे हो?
Oh, nice.
So because it's what's happening is कि you're scared, so you're like कि यार मेरे में कोई skill नहीं है, उसके पास skill है, वो कर सकता है, वो करेगा, मैं नहीं कर सकता. तो आप insecure हो, वो उसके पास कुछ नहीं है, आप ही खुद insecure हो. So try to, it's a very easier said than done. And मैं बहुत ही ज्ञान तो दे रहा हूँ. I mean, I'm not able to do most of the time, like मैं खुद नहीं कर पाता हूँ ये चीज. But it's good to if I'm in a podcast, might as well give some like, yeah, that's my closing remark.
Well, I believe this Gyan will really help a lot of people. I think, as a matter of fact, there's been a constant authenticity that we have observed. Like at least I have observed, and all the people that I'm still connected with from Kirodima, may it be Mancha, may it be Ayushi, may it be other people that I've been. They all talk about how exclusively authentic you are, and how interesting
really?
you're. Yeah, come on, what are you talking about? Okay, no, maybe I'm just buttering it up for the podcast, but yes, I personally believe so. I love your bio, by the way. You like your puns intended. I was about to use that only after I read it on yours, but देखिए थोड़ा ज़्यादा cheap हो जाएगा.
Yeah, that's true. That's a bit cheap.
Okay, no, but I did not. Okay, mine was even worse. But yeah, thank you so much. I believe this was one of the best conversations about because this is something that we usually would love to know from someone who has already done it. And I think anyone who tunes into this podcast, watches this conversation, will possibly need a notepad and a pen to note everything down, because each and every bit of your word has a different kind of value that is being added to everyone who listens to this podcast. So I'm really grateful that you could take time out for this recording. I had a wonderful time, man, and I hope that you had a good time too.
Me too, man. Me too.
So great. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Utkarsh, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.